Hi, my name is Arika Lewinsky, and I'm a product manager for the Progressive Delivery Group at the release stage here at GitLab. Today, I want to walk through a few of our planned issues for 13.1. We have a planning issue so that you can check it out whenever you want. And so I'm going to go through a few of the issues that are planned for this next release. The first one is offer in-product guidance for deploying to AWS. And in the last few milestones, we've been doing a lot of work helping you deploy to AWS. And what we want to do here is in the CI/CD variables area, which we have already changed to make it easier to deploy to AWS. If we detect that you're using AWS, we will help you out with a few links to our AWS deployment manuals and to our different cloud deploy images and a CI/CD template that helps you deploy to ECS, to AWS ECS. So that's just to help you out, not to go searching in Google, just to help you out inside the product itself. The next issue that I want to talk about is add support for Canary weight Ingress annotations via API. So while I don't think we're going to complete the entire issue because it's rather large, it's an MVC, I do want to walk through a little bit about the plan and what we do want to plan for this specific iteration. So the idea is that we want to expand our current Canary capabilities for Kubernetes to allow you to configure a real blue-green deployment. And the way that we do that is by allowing to set weights, and then you can set the deployment to different weights to different environments. So now you have a blue environment and a green environment, and you can start rolling out a Canary pods based on the weight that you set. And then you can gradually switch over to the secondary environment, and then you can switch back and forth. So this is a rather large issue, again, expanding our current Canary solution. And for this specific iteration, what we're going to do is we are setting up all the things we need behind the scenes in order to allow our Canary to support this new configuration that will support, ultimately support 2 environments. So that's what we're doing now. Backstage work in the next few milestones, I will talk about what we're going to do. So we're going to start with API and later UI, but this is the specific milestone that we're just setting up the things behind the scenes. Next up is show error rate threshold exceeded on deploy board. Okay, so we're experimenting on helping understanding how our deployment is behaving post-deployment. And for the very first iteration, what we want to do here is before even attempting to stop or notify or anything about how your deployment is behaving, we want to show that there's an error on the deploy board in case that happens. So the way that it works is we're using Prometheus's pre-existing defined error rates, throughput latency, HTTP error rate, and if such an event happens that one of the thresholds is crossed on the deploy board itself, you will see something like deploy error rate has exceeded or something similar to that. So that way, if you're looking at the deploy board and you're looking at how your production behavior is behaving and you see an error, you will automatically know that there's some action that needs to be done. The final issue that I want to talk about, and one that I'm very excited about since we had a lot of community conversation and contributions to this issue, is allow parents project developers to create pipelines for merge requests for forked MRs. And there used to be a larger issue that this was broken off from. And so after having lots of discussions with the community on this issue, we have decided that this is the first approach, and it matches a lot of the different use cases that we heard from users, but we do plan to expand on it later. So the idea here is if you're an open source project maintainer and you have a specific forked MR that you want to create in the pipeline of the parent. And you don't really, if you don't have permissions in the parent project, you can't really run it and test it and see if everything's fine. This is even going to help us internally in GitLab with your community contributions. So the way that that it's going to work in this iteration is that you can request for someone that has appropriate permissions in the parent pipeline to run it for you. And that way you get an added bonus that you get a code review done out while that happens. And that way you can see how it behaves. Again, if you don't have the proper permissions, you will not be able to run the project, but you can ask for someone who has developer permission or up in the parent pipeline, and they will run it and check that everything's okay. So super excited about this. This is one of our most popular issues in release, and specifically for progressive delivery. And I'm really happy that we could finally work on it. This has been pushed for several milestones because we were debating what was the right solution. And really with the help of the community, we were able to come up with this solution, and really excited to get it out the door. That's it for 13.1. Again, if you have any feedback or questions, please email me at olgalowinski@gitlab.com, and I will see you next time.